So with the PlayStation 5 about to receive one of its most exciting and interesting exclusives since Demon's Souls, I just wanted to talk about a new thing that has recently popped up, and that is a lot of people complaining about the idea of PS5 games being ported back to the PlayStation 4. With Ratchet & Clank A Rift Apart out in just a few days, this has prompted a lot of people to feel, to be perfectly honest, a bit depressed and a bit down, because obviously it's a hot new Ratchet & Clank game that they're not going to get to play. The excellent PlayStation 4 remaster of the original game, with the gameplay being shown in the background, not only looks amazing, but runs amazing as well. So a lot of people are then rather concerned at the idea of not being able to play a new Rift Apart when it comes out. However, a lot of people have also started complaining about the idea of PlayStation 5 games, which were originally going to be exclusive to the system, now being ported over to the PlayStation 4. Hi guys, I'm Cash Nikita, and I just wanted to say welcome back to my channel. If you are new, it's always lovely to meet new people, and if you enjoy what you see, do consider subscribing. I do videos most weekdays, and I tend to upload fairly regularly. I also do gameplay walkthroughs, let's plays, and I just generally talk about news and gaming. So without further ado, let's get into this. Now, as I mentioned, we have the new Ratchet & Clank game coming out very, very soon, and this has a lot of people, myself included, rather excited. However, I'm also a bit annoyed because where we have a brand new Ratchet & Clank game, it's only going to be on the PlayStation 5, the system barely anyone owns. This is causing a lot of problems for people like me who only have a PlayStation 4 and are unable to buy a PS5. It's not even a financial situation, it's a sincere lacking of stock, which on Sony's part is just borderline stupid. It's very annoying that obviously the scalpers have gone and bought up all the systems, so Sony are now obviously having to adjust what was originally going to be the year for the PlayStation 5 and now bringing it back to another year of PlayStation 4 games. One particular game that recently got ported back was Resident Evil Village. However, the way that runs incredibly well on the PlayStation 4 anyway, I'm honestly convinced they'd started as a PS4 exclusive anyway, which they then originally were just going to port to the PS5. However, games like Ratchet & Clank A Rift Apart, Demon's Souls, and other games which were specifically designed for the PlayStation 5's hardware would not sadly be able to run on the PlayStation 4. However, a lot of people are also saying that, oh, well, it's not fair on me buying a $500 console if barely any games are going to be coming to it. Well, unfortunately, you have to remember that Sony is a business, and at the end of the day, they're not here to be your friends, they're not here to cater to your desires, they are here to make money. And the easiest way they are going to make money is by still catering to the majority of their player base, which is still on the PlayStation 4. Nearly 180 million people daily log into PlayStation 4 systems, whereas only a tiny 4 million log in on PlayStation 5 systems. Now, 8 million sounds like a lot when you put it into context, but then when you remember that 180 million people are then logging onto an older system, yes, the games might not look as good, but at the same time, it's still a player base who you can make a lot more money off, and that's ultimately what Sony's endgame is. When the new God of War being announced, it was originally going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but due to scalpers and lack of availability, Sony have basically had to all but port it back to the PlayStation 4. I have no honest complaints on this. As someone who is only able to play on PlayStation 4 at the minute due to a lack of PlayStation 5s, I welcome the idea. I also like the idea of expanding the lifespan of the PlayStation 4 a bit longer. We saw something very similar with the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 back when there was a shortage of Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s. But there are people who are still complaining about it, and honestly, I can kind of understand you're a bit mad. Obviously, you've spent a lot of money on a system that you were hoping to get all of the next-gen games and all of the exclusives, but at the same time, you have to understand that if Sony only made games for this system, it would severely hurt their income and possibly bankrupt them, because games can be incredibly expensive to make at times. You have to remember that games do not just magically appear. They're a product of years and years of working. They are a product of years and years of effort. So you have to remember this as you look towards new games. There is a much easier solution, however, and this is ultimately what I was going to propose. In order to prevent shortages of systems when they come out, I think that once they do finally get the new chips in and they get the new systems available, and obviously they're able to then ship them across the world, I think the one thing Sony would be better off doing is importing a in-store purchase only policy. This means the scalpers, if they want to buy 20 PS5s, will have to go into the shop and carry them out themselves. However, this would also be nice if shops then implemented a one per customer rule. Rather than letting scalpers walk in, buy up the entire stock, and then leave a lot of people high and dry, it'd be nice if people could actually get the PlayStation 5s they want. This would increase the player base and give Sony much more directive to then put games exclusively onto the PlayStation 5. I would like to say this isn't ultimately Sony's fault, however, at the same time, as the manufacturers of the PlayStation 5, they would have been fully aware it would have been a hot new item, and that a lot of people would have been wanting to buy it. So ultimately, this is down to corporate under-developing the system, but also down to human greed, with scalpers then buying up all the stock and exploiting them for an insane markup. However, as I said, there are many solutions that can be done about this. First of all is, obviously, if you have to install games in-store purchases only in shops such as Game and Smith's Toys, Walmart, GameStop, all of those. However, it'd also be nice if they also had a one per customer policy. This means that a scalper couldn't walk in, order 20 PlayStation 5s and snatch them up before anyone else even had a chance. This would make the market much fairer. Then again, the much easier solution is just honestly for Sony to say, hey, we're not going to ship any new we're not going to ship any of these new systems that we've made out to the shops. We are going to contact the people directly, like PlayStation Plus members or PlayStation Now members who log in daily, and offer them the chance to order it first. But again, implementing a one per customer system. This can be done in several different ways, with credit checks and information gathered, such as your name, your phone number, or what bank card you use. So, for example, if the system detects that someone is trying to order 5 or 6 of the same PlayStation 5 with the same card, it will refuse the transaction. This would at least prevent scalpers from buying them all up with bots. However, I do believe that honestly, as long as there is going to be a new generation of console, there is still going to be scalpers as an issue. And this is going to keep causing problems with the new games, where as much as I'm sure Sony wants to make them exclusive to the PlayStation 5, viably and marketably, it's not practical. It would not be practical to make a game exclusive to 8 million people when you have 180 million people you could get money from just as easily. Looking at the sales figures for the PlayStation 5, you see the millions and millions of systems being sold, but then when you look at things like the game sales, you then realize that, well, hang on a minute, yes, millions and millions of PlayStation 5s have been sold, and that would look great on a profit standpoint, but only a couple 100,000 games are being sold. This means that there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of millions of games sat in warehouses and shelves unsold. This might also have something to do with the lack of exclusivity though, because obviously where not many people have a PlayStation 5, they usually buy the PlayStation 4 version of a game. I particularly did this. I was particularly glad that when Village came out that I was able to purchase it for my PlayStation 4. I was also particularly happy that it offered a free PlayStation 5 upgrade if and when the gaming gods were good enough to grace me with my own PlayStation 5. So, I just want to kind of sum it up here. For the people who are complaining that, oh, they're only making games for the PlayStation 4, well, technically, yes, but that's because that's the majority of where their fan base is still, because of a shortage. You're complaining at Sony for basically no other reason other than, oh, I've spent money on this, treat me better. But then you have to remember, not everyone is as lucky as you are. Not everyone is as lucky to have their own PlayStation 5. The majority of them are still playing on the PlayStation 4. In a couple of days, I will be looking at the sales figures for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, but I'm going to be perfectly honest, apart from the die-hard Ratchet & Clank fans and the people who are buying it day one, I guarantee its sales figures are not going to be nearly as good as what it could have been had they done it for the PlayStation 4 as well. And this is just a business move by Sony trying to make as much money as possible. Anyway, I've been Kashmir Nikita. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it informative. I've got to be honest, I don't really like doing videos where I basically straight up call people out and I say, well, you're kind of being ungrateful and kind of being greedy. But at the same time, I don't like the fact that we are now in the new generation of console, but it still feels like we haven't gotten anywhere just because we have barely any systems available. So for the people complaining at Sony saying, well, why don't you only make games for the PlayStation 5, why don't you then remember that they are a business first and they need to make their money, and they're going to make a lot more money putting games on the PlayStation 4 than they are on the PlayStation 5 in the minute. So why don't you, instead of directing your anger at Sony, direct your hate to the scalpers? And if you are a scalper yourself, might I add, Seriously, man, it's not funny, it's not cool. It's just a dick move, to be honest. You're creating a shortage of systems, which is leaving a lot of people frustrated and a lot of people depressed. So please just stop. I like money as much as the next person, but I like video games a lot more. You're hurting the gaming industry, you're hurting the gamers. Please stop it. I've been Cash Nikita. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video today, then feel free to like and subscribe. One of my more recent videos got nearly 200 views, which is insane. I honestly never thought my channel would do this well, so I am so happy to be doing this well and to keep doing content for you. I will hopefully see you on the next episode, which will probably be about the new Watch Dogs Legion Bloodlines DLC, as well as commenting about E3 2021. Until then, thank you for watching.